Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you are new here. Today, I am super excited to share with you my pumpkin patch that I have been creating and working on tirelessly nonstop for a very long time, what seems like an eternity. Okay, I'm being dramatic, but it did seem like this took me a very long time just because there was a lot to this lot. So, this lot is built on a 40 by 40 in Burlington Bay. So, this is the world that came with the Cats and Dogs expansion. And I love this location and specifically this lot. I have never built on this lot before, but I really love the surrounding area and just the little walkway. There's like a little brick walkway right next to this lot, and it is so pretty, especially because I put a horse on this lot, a little stable to keep your horse in. And I had my sim play test this and take her horse on a ride, and it was so magical riding through Burlington Bay. And so, yeah, I hope you guys will enjoy this. Now, buckle up and get a snack and get cozy, get a fuzzy blanket, light a candle because this is a very, very long speed build. It is about 47 minutes, I want to say. So, I will be talking here for quite some time. So, like I said, get comfortable. And right now, I am starting to work on the roof line, and I wanted it to have that very much that Brindleton Bay kind of vibe because I feel like a lot of them have the roofs like this. I don't know if there's a particular word or name that you would like to call this type of roofing, but it's kind of like farmhouse slash New England vibe is what it reminds me of. So I wanted the house to really reflect that. So I'm just going in and I'm adding individual pieces to this roof. I'm being very meticulous about splitting up my roof so that whenever you are playing with this build, that the roof is not clipping on the second floor. So I did go through and make sure that everything was not clipping on the inside because that drives me absolutely insane when the roof is clipping and you're playing in the build and you go upstairs and the roof is blocking your view and you can't even see what's happening in your game. So, like I said, I made sure to take my time with the roof and really divide it all up so that you're not having any of those problems if you decide to download this off the gallery. Now, I did cut out some of the landscaping and some of the things like bathrooms, and because there was like 3 or 4 bathrooms in this house. So I did cut out some footage. So this doesn't actually go over exactly everything that I did, but I hope I did enough and left enough on camera to where you guys get a good idea of how I went about creating this. So, right now, we are working on the outside of this house. And I want to say I do end up switching out these windows. And I want to say these are the snowy escape windows, but I ended up switching them out for the horse ranch windows. I thought they matched a lot better and they kind of went with the vibe that I was going for. So you will see me make that switch here in a minute. And I do end up changing that log cabin style paint, so I ended up changing that to, I want to say, the horse ranch brick. And it ended up coming together really pretty. And I love how this came out. And this is quite a big house in general. I mean, it's quite a big lot, but the house itself is very spacious as well. This house ends up having 4 bedrooms, and I wanna say 3 bathrooms on the inside of this house, but also I wanna say there was another one that I put in one of the barns for the public in case you wanted to turn this into a small business. And now you can see I'm going in here and I'm replacing those windows with the Horse Ranch ones, and I'm adding these shutters also from Horse Ranch, and I thought they looked so cute. And this house really started to give the vibe that I was going for after I switched out the windows. Okay, so let's talk about the new expansion pack coming out. Okay, for one, it is rather soon for a new expansion pack to be coming out, but I'm not, please don't think that I'm complaining because I am so excited. We are getting play sets, so like slides, and I seen we're getting a water slide. I am absolutely so excited for this new pack. I am not sure if I'm going to wait to actually purchase this pack though. I may wait until after Halloween, and that'll kind of give me something to do in between, my seasonal builds. But I really, really do enjoy kind of doing seasonal Halloween slash fall builds. So I'm kind of thinking that I might just focus on that. There's a couple of ideas I've had turning in my head pretty much all year long. So I want to make sure that I get enough of what I want to get done this season for Halloween out. So I am kind of gambling with time because unfortunately, as much as I wish that life would slow down around like the fall and Halloween time, in my life, it tends to pick up speed. So I usually have a lot less time in like the spring and the fall to do builds for this channel. So and that is because in the fall and the springtime is typically wedding season. So I do have a lot of weddings that I work. I do the hair and the makeup for the brides and the bridesmaids. So usually around fall and spring, it tends to pick up in my life, which kind of stinks when it comes to like Halloween time, like I said, because I really, really enjoy doing like scary builds and gothic builds and pumpkin farms. And like that's probably one of my favorite times of year for creativity, I would say. Now, I will say, like, as far as my overall favorite season, I have to say summer because my heart will always be in the summertime just because I love to hang out by the ocean and the pool and just be outside under the sun. So, but I will say I am looking forward to the fall and the cooler weather because it has been a very, very hot summer for us here. So, yeah, we are definitely looking forward to cooler weather this year. But getting on and talking about what I am doing now, we are just going around. We are landscaping the front of the house. I do that back of the house off camera, but I ended up placing these flowers from Romantic Gardens, and I thought they were really pretty, and they have the red and the yellow swatch, and I thought they really gave off that fall cozy vibe. So and of course, I went through and I laid down all the terrain paint and kind of marked out where I wanted to place everything. And then I'm just going in and I am roofing all the little barns. So there are two barns on this lot. One, I imagine you would keep your horse in. So I did put everything you would need to take care of a horse. And then the other barn, we used it as a business. So you can run your business out of it. I put a few places for you to carve pumpkins. And then I put some bake sell shop items like the glass that came with businesses and hobbies, and you can put your baked goods in there. So I placed a couple of those inside the other barn, the yellow barn. And right now, I'm just going in, and this will be the barn for the horse. So, this red barn is where you will be able to keep a horse if you want one in your game. And there's not a whole lot going on in it. I just kind of kept the basics. I put one of those horse mats. I'm not sure what you call it. It's like a horse bed, and then I fenced it off and kinda had a little enclosure on the inside, so if you wanted to put your horse and keep them locked up at night, you definitely can. And then, of course, I put a water spout for your horse to drink out of, and then a little hay barrel thing so your horse can eat. So everything is inside the stable for your horse, and they should be well taken care of. I did add a little barrel run outside of the horse barn, And I thought that would be really nice. I kind of imagined that the owner of this farm was a husband and wife, and the husband really enjoyed running the pumpkin patch, while the wife really loved the horses and the animals themselves. So I think she would be really big into horse competitions. So I did want to include the barrels in this lot. So I feel like I have not built a lot this big in so long, and I feel like I really, really miss it. So I had such a blast building this. I felt like it took forever just because I try to get a good idea of what I want to do before I actually go in and record it. So that's basically all on me and me being just OCD, but I want to lay everything out in an aesthetic way for you guys. I really feel like taking that extra time and doing that, it kind of pays off because I'm more organized in my building and I'm not just bouncing all around. So I hope you will appreciate that. But yeah, it kind of makes bigger lots like this a little bit more of a challenge just because, there's a lot more that goes into it, a lot more fine details, but I really do enjoy a big lot for that reason also, just because there is so much to do and so much to see and so much to include. So, like I said, I had a blast with this. Unfortunately, right now I'm going in and we are actually working on the little pumpkin patch part. And I was kind of hoping that these pumpkins wouldn't go bad, but unfortunately, at least one of the rows, while I was game testing or game playing this, the pumpkins ended up going bad. So the pumpkins on the front porch, and then later you'll see I put some pumpkins on the shelf inside the small business. And all those pumpkins that came with the spooky day stuff, they end up eventually going bad, unfortunately. But hey, it looked really pretty for the screenshots and it got me through till then. So you can probably just replace this slot from the gallery if you wanted those pumpkins to reappear and you didn't just want to throw them all away. I actually thought about doing that, but I got all my screenshots and all my videos that I wanted to get. So, oh well. And as you can see, I went down and I got these debug pieces of wood and I placed them all throughout lining the pathway, and I thought that turned out really pretty. And then I am just lining the circle part with some of the plants. So I am just going in, I'm putting some trees. I'm trying to make it feel lush and like there's a lot going on and a lot of greenery and like it's kind of tucked away in these autumn woods. So I was very, very pleased with how it turned out and just like, oh my gosh, how it looked that night with all the twinkle lights. Here I am. I'm going in and I'm placing all these little lights and I'm decking it out. And they kind of have a little bit of that orangey look to it. So I thought that was perfect for this. And yeah, it looked so magical at night. I was having a blast game playing this, especially at night. It was giving that pumpkin patch that I want in real life. So I hope you guys will enjoy. Oh, and I put this little this was from Seasons, and so this was all the fall little treats, and I thought that was perfect to include. So you can get like a pumpkin spice and, a couple different things while you're here at this venue. On the venue type, I did put some of the activities. One of them, unfortunately, there was no carving pumpkins, which was such an oversight. I was very, very bummed about that. But a couple of the activities was playing with, the pets because I did place some mini goats and some mini sheep and some chickens, and of course, we have the horse. So you can go through and you can play with all the farm animals, and then you can get some snacks, and then also you can buy some baked goods from the yellow barn. So I kind of imagined that the wife of this family was really into baking. So she baked a lot of the baked goods that she would sell here at this pumpkin farm. So I did, like I said, place those so you can put your baked goods up for sale. And yeah, I was having a blast baking and just filling out this pumpkin farm. It was so fun. But yeah, now you can see I'm just going through and I'm placing these little pumpkin decorations. I want to say they are sized up from seasons. So and then now I am going in and I'm gonna add some lights around this fencing. So I seen this trick on, I want to say TikTok. And so I thought this was genius. Go in and replace it with half walls and then go in and add your lighting that you want. That way that you're not having any issues with raising it and everything's lined up perfectly. And then just replace it with your fence. And I thought that was such a genius idea. I had to do it in this build. And I thought it lit up the pumpkin patch so pretty. So that's what decided to do here. And then we are moving in on the inside of this house. And this is a very big family room. So this has your dining, your kitchen, and your living room all in one room. It's a nice open concept. So I really wanted to have an open concept feel for this house. I don't know why I have been very into that lately because I've never ever lived in a house that had an open concept. So I just thought that would be really nice for this house. And here I am, and I used those curtains from Seasons, and I thought they matched so pretty. They have the fall leaves on them, and I was so excited about that. But here you can see I'm placing down this cocoa tray, and I want to say this came in an event that we had last year around the winter time, around Christmas time. So I thought it'd be super cute and cozy to include a little hot cocoa tray in here. So here I am. I'm going to add in some country kitchen clutter on this shelf. And then I added in this horse ranch plant, or it's kind of like feathers, I guess. It's not necessarily a plant, but it's more like feathers. And yeah, just, and I used those counters from Country Living and I or sorry, cottage living. And I thought they matched really pretty. I just used the white swatch, but then I used this rustic wood swatch and this horse ranch counter for the middle section. And I thought the combination really worked well together. I used a lot of horse ranch and cottage living in this build if you if you haven't noticed, but I am going in with this couch from Growing Together, and I am placing them so they make like an L-shaped sofa. And I really wanted something a little different. So I think this is going to be my new obsession. I'm going to start doing this L-shaped sofa idea. I've done it many years ago before we even had the Dream Home Decorator ones. I'd always make L-shaped sofas with these and like combine them. So yeah, my new obsession is combining these two, and you can hide it so well with the pillows they gave us. So I thought that turned out really pretty. And here you can see I placed that TV, and I thought that TV was absolutely giving the autumn vibes. And so I'm really excited. We have so much more. We've gotten so much content in the last year and two because I mean, it's really picked up the pace here lately. I'll be honest, it's a little overwhelming going through my catalog, and we just have so much new stuff. And we're about to get another Adventure Awaits pack. Guys, it's too much content. I can't even build enough of the ideas. Like, I don't have time to build all the ideas that I have. Like, it is so, I mean, it's not a bad thing. Don't get me wrong because the inspiration is nonstop right now because we're getting so much and there's so many ideas per pack that I have that I mean, at this rate, I have content coming out my ears. So, yeah, I'm so excited with all this new adventure awaits. And I keep thinking, like, what am I gonna build? Like, I kind of want to build like a haunted vampire playground because, come on, guys, like, perfect for Halloween. And the vampire babies need to play too. So I was thinking maybe doing something like that. And then I also have like this gothic wedding venue idea. So let me know in the comments below which one you would like to see, or if you want to see both, let me know which one. But yeah, I am getting back to this build and I love how this kitchen turned out. This is probably my favorite room in the house. I got these pictures off of the gallery and I thought they fit so perfectly in here. So I sized them down and I did go into live mode and I added a frame to it. So that's what you see behind the dining room table there is it's not custom content. It is definitely off of the gallery. I want to say your Sims paint it on the easel and then they can paying from reference and then upload it to the gallery, and you can have so much more available art in the game. It makes it super convenient. But anyway, we are getting back into the parents' room. And so I kind of imagine that the parents would be sleeping in here. They do have their own ensuite bathroom, and I do show that bathroom on camera, but like I said, the other couple of them in this house, I did not. I wanna say there's 2 or 3 in this house that I did not show on camera. But I thought this room turned out really pretty, and also, again, I am using art from the gallery on the wall behind the bed here. And so I added in this rug, and I wanna say that rug came from Life and Death, and then that Jungle Adventure mirror was absolutely stunning in here, and, fun fact about that Jungle Adventure mirror, I literally have been obsessed with that mirror for years and years and years. I see all my favorite Sims content creators using that mirror, but I never owned the Jungle Adventure expansion pack. So I just picked that up. I wanna say, like, oh, man, like okay, it's been a little bit now. It's like 8 months. So I've been playing with it for about 8 months now, and, honestly, I have not used that mirror as much as I probably had built up in my head. But there are so many mirrors now. Like I said, we are just getting so much good new content that I'm really excited. So yeah, I thought that fit perfectly in here, and then I added in these chairs from Horse Ranch, and I thought they look so cute here. They are so, what's the word? Realistic. So I thought they looked really cozy in there. So here I am working on the parents' ensuite bathroom. And I thought this bathroom turned out quite luxurious. And so that's kind of what I was going for. Kind of a farmhouse, luxurious bathroom. So yeah, I was very happy with how it ended up. But I did add in some laundry baskets in here. So there is a washer and dryer down in the basement. And then I added quite a few of the laundry baskets around this lot. So your Sims will have to do laundry if you have that pack, but it just adds another element to gameplay that I think is sometimes fun. But I am just cluttering up these counters in this bathroom. I added these pumpkins in and I thought they looked so pretty in here. And then I added some soap. And these counters are the same ones that I used in the kitchen from Cottage Living. And I love these counters. These are probably my favorite counters in the game because I do tend to use them quite frequently. But I can't help it. I just they're perfect for a lot of the builds that I go for. Of course, I do go for a lot of the cottage builds a lot of the time, but now you can see that I am just kind of putting this toilet off to the side, and I kind of added a little bit of a half wall divider just to give your Sims some privacy. And I added in a couple of bathrobes. And then right here, my new favorite thing is adding in these little modular shelves. I have been doing that the last several builds, so I think they fit together and you can pretty much put them in any type of build, and they kind of just add a little something extra to the bathroom. So I've really been liking doing that lately. But I'm just gonna add a picture above the shelving unit, and then we are gonna be moving on into the very small hallway. And I literally just put this little vine curtain, and then I think I placed a rug in here. And then we will be moving on into the mudroom. And for the mudroom, I did end up using the new grunge mudroom kit, and I absolutely love that kit, and I love the clutter that came in that kit. So I was having fun. This was actually my first mudroom that I had built. So it was very fun to build, and I thought it turned out really cute. I added in this little I guess it's like a carriage room. I'm not sure, but it's from Horse Ranch, and I added that above this little bench. And I thought it really complemented the vibe because I kind of figured the lady of the household was definitely a horse girl. So I added in a lot of the horse touches, and now I'm just going in and I am cluttering this up. I added these files up here from Get to Work and just some random clutter. I added in this from Seasons so that whenever it is fall or Halloween or, maybe even Christmas, that your sim can come there and decorate the house. So I thought that would be really cute. I try to add that into most of my builds, but sometimes I definitely forget. But we are now making our way upstairs, and I'm just going to add a few little pieces in this hallway. It's not a very big hallway, so there's not a whole lot going on, but I added in the cozy little love seat from the Book Nook kit. And then I added a side table and then some shelves on the other side of it, and I cluttered it all up. So there are, like I said, quite a few bedrooms in this house. So up here, we do have a toddler's room. And then I had a pretty big bedroom. So I kind of imagined that twins maybe shared that room. So I kind of decorated it for twins. And then in the back bedroom, is the bedroom for the teenager because I kind of imagine that they would want their own little personal space so that they can blast their music and, hang out and do what they want to do kind of away and out of, the main living area. So that's what I ended up doing here. And I'm just adding a few more pieces of clutter to this shelf, just trying to make it look more filled in and create some different interesting things to look at over on this unit. And then just adding a small picture. I believe I get, yes, this flower picture from the base game, and we are moving on into the twins room. And so I really liked how this room turned out. I love the wallpaper that came from Cottage Living with the little acorns and the bunnies and the mushrooms. I thought it was so cute. And I'm using this bed from Horse Ranch, and I used the smaller version of this bed, and I thought it really fit the aesthetic and was giving the fall colors that I was going for in here. Those curtains I tend to use a lot in this build, and that is from the nursery, the storybook nursery kit, I believe. And I love those curtains. Those are probably become one of my favorite curtains in the game. I've been using them quite often, and surprisingly, they fit with a lot of the aesthetics that I'm going for, especially in bathrooms and kids' rooms. So I really liked how that turned out. And here is the other twins bed. I want to say that bed came from Seasons. And then I'm using this little dresser, and that came from high school years, I believe. But I had never used this swatch before, and I thought that the different tones in wood was so beautiful. So I decided to go with that. And those rugs, they came from the Little Campers kit, and they just fit the aesthetic so beautifully, and I loved them, so I used them twice. So I hope you don't mind, but I threw in this pillow from the Little Campers kit too, and I thought it had the little trees on it, and I thought it really fit the fall vibe I was going for. So here we are starting in on the nursery, and this is quite a simple nursery. I didn't have a whole lot of room, but I felt like I got to include everything that I really thought that the baby might need. So I added in the crib for the young little baby slash infants. And then I also added a little toddler bed. So you can kind of go through some of the life stages in that room, or, you can put two of your children in there, a toddler and an infant. So I thought that was nice. I wanted to try to include most of the life stages in this house because I kind of figured this was definitely a family home. So I am going in, and this is kind of like a little hallway between the main upstairs and then the teenagers' room. So I just used the mudroom kit again, and, like I said, I'm loving this kit, and especially to fill in some of these little awkward spaces in these hallways, I think it is an excellent kit to have in your arsenal. So I am just going in and I am adding some clutter. I added in this rocking chair, and we are moving on into the teens room. I really like how this room turned out. I really enjoy doing teen rooms. If you haven't noticed on my channel, I tend to do them quite often. But I love them. I think they are probably one of my favorite kind of rooms to do. So, and I love how this one turned out. I am using the bed from high school years, and it had the little feathers on it and the leaves, and I thought it fit really, really pretty in here. And I felt like, it was giving fall without, taking away from the fact that this is a teen room. I added in this TV from Tiny Living, and I thought it was perfect because it has a radio and a gaming system. I believe all that is included in the TV from Tiny Living, which I actually just found that out. So that was really cool. And now I am starting in on the one and only bathroom upstairs. So I didn't figure that was a big deal, but there should be enough for all your Sims to get their needs taken care of. So I did include a bath slash shower combo. And I did include a potty chair for a toddler in this room. So if you do have a toddler in this home, they will have a place to use the potty. So, we are going in downstairs now, and we are going to be working on the laundry room. So I did use the new mudroom kit again, and I went in with a washer dryer, and I just kind of filled out this wall to make it look really lived in, like your Sims are down here doing regular loads of laundry. I added some clutter up in these shelves, some towels, and then some folded clothes, some detergent, just anything that I thought might go in a laundry room. I used a lot of the laundry room kit in here. So if you have that kit and you like to do laundry, this is the house because there was plenty of laundry with as many Sims as I had living in this house. So I just added in a few. I added in this little hutch from Horse Ranch, and I kind of figured you could store stuff. That is a functional item in the game, and you can store things in there. So I kind of figured that would be very handy to have. And now we are starting in on what I imagine would be the grandparents' room. So if you have your mom and dad or, the grandparents come and stay, sometimes they'll come over if you have growing together and they will actually help you with your newborn baby. So if you just had a baby and you have parents playing in your current save file, sometimes they will come over and they will help you with your newborn, which I love it when they do that. So I wanted to include a little room for them. Now, is it kind of mean that I stuck them down here in the basement? I don't think so. I I feel like they would be very comfortable down here. So I tried to make it homey, but I also tried to make it look a little older and kind of basementy. So that's kind of why I put the paneling up on the walls. But I tried to make it cozy. So I really think they'll have a nice little room if they decide to come over and help. But we are skipping over that bathroom because I feel like after so many bathrooms, it gets pretty repetitive. So I'm just going to go in and add a few rocking chairs to the front porch. And then I think I added in a bench here. Yes. And just a little plant next to it. And then I did want to go in and add some of these Halloween pumpkins around. And unfortunately, they will go bad, but they look so cute and they were giving that vibe, and I kind of imagine that's where you would place your pumpkins in real life. If you were carving pumpkins, I would be setting them on my porch and my stairs. So I thought that was really cute, and I love that new rug. I wanna say we got that a in an event that we had the last couple months. So, it had pumpkins on it, and I thought it was so pretty, so I included that in here. And now we are working on the little horse stable. So I included a horse bed and then, of course, some water and then a place you can put your hay in. And also, I included another one of these little storage units and just a few odds and ends that came from Horse Ranch, like these shelving units here. And I thought they were perfect. I also added in a rug from Horse Ranch, so I thought that fit perfectly, and it added a little bit of that cozy vibe that I was going for. And now we are starting in on like the main inside area for the small business. So I did include these little shelving units that came from Business and Hobbies, and you can place your dessert items in there, and it's like a refrigerator, so it will keep it good for a longer period of time. So I thought that was really nice. I ended up filling it up with a bunch of baked goods that I thought were fall appropriate. So I had a lot of fun doing that in gameplay, but I am using these little love seeds from Crystal Creations to kind of create a cozy cafe little spot for your Sims, and I included the candy bowls from the spooky day stuff. So I thought that was very necessary in this Halloween slash fall build. So I'm just going around, I'm adding in some twinkle lights just to make it a little bit more dreamy in here. And I love that worn out swatch of the paneling that came with Horse Ranch that I put on the walls. I thought that was giving off that barn feel that I was really going for. Plus, these windows also came from Horse Ranch. So I kind of imagine that your Sims can come in here and hang out and look out those big bay windows, and they would have the perfect view of all the animals in that little stable there. So I thought that was really dreamy. But here I am working on this little corner. I'm just adding in some shelving units. And then I go in and once again, I fill it all up with pumpkins. So unfortunately, like I said, these pumpkins will go bad, but for aesthetic purposes, I thought they were just so cute right here because right below them, I end up placing the pumpkin carving workstation. I did place four. So, four of your Sims, if they visit here on the lot, they can carve pumpkins. So, I thought that would be really nice to have. And here I am placing this shelving unit from Get to Work, and I kind of imagine you could put your jams or your honey up there. So when I was game playing or game testing this lot, I was putting a lot of her homemade jams and her honey jars up on that shelf, and they did function and it did go up for sale. So I was kind of worried about the cross play between Get to Work and businesses and hobbies. So it did function, like it put a price tag on it. So it seemed to function perfectly. So I had no problems. So I was very excited about that. And now I am working on, I guess you would say, the guest bathroom. And so this is the bathroom that your guests who visit this lot can use. And I thought that was very much essential. So up here, you did see I had a little ladder down there, but I thought it would be really cute to include like a little play place for all the kids that visit this lot. So there's not a whole lot going on up here, but I thought it would be nice just to have a little imaginary room where, they could come up here and play and just like a hidden little nook. So I thought that would be really fun. And here I am just going in and adding the final details to this build. And I hope you guys did enjoy this. And if you are still here and still watching towards the end of the video, I am so grateful because I know this was a long one. So I appreciate all your love and support, and I will see you guys in my next one. Bye.